Sorry, guys. No idea. My platform I use here. This is my bad. This is why I don't live stream, by the way. Because I'm not too good at it. I don't do it enough, basically. Like once every other week or give or take. Let me make sure the chat's working. Okay. Let me make sure the chat is working again. This is my bad, guys. Reload. Copy. What a pain in the ass. I think I got it. That's my bad. My bad. Yeah, God only Scott, thanks for coming back. Like I said, for some reason when I hit the escape bar, it canceled out my live stream too. But I'm trying to get the chat back up and running here. So bear with me. But yeah, I've been looking at Act Blue. I've been trying to see if I could dig up any information. Let's see. There we go. I think I got it working again. Somebody had a really funny picture on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, with like a huge... They're in the bike lanes, they have the storm drains. There was like a 4-inch gap between the asphalt and the storm drain. I'm forgiven. Thank you. My bad. YouTube takes down all your comments. I've been having, so I will tell you this much, no matter how, like every single video I do, I've been having a couple of people that have been like reporting comments, I think, on my videos. So if you have comments taken down, it's not me. I don't remove comments. Even negative ones, I don't really remove them. I don't have time to go through all the comments, guys. Obviously, I just don't. But I appreciate everybody. I just don't have time to comment on every comment or reply to every comment. Somebody the other day said, God, there was a couple ridiculous rumors people were starting. One was, I can't remember it verbatim. I could probably pull it up, but I'm not going to waste my time or yours. But one was, I'm a globalist Freemason, and it's because of the ring I wear on my finger. Just so you know, the pinky ring that I have on my finger is like a it's my family crest. I've had it on for like probably over 10 years now. But people were trying to say that yeah, I'm like a Freemason globalist, which is not true. Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Where the hell's that? Yeah, that was one rumor. The other rumor is like, I hate women or something because, you know, all the videos are pertaining to Mara Healy or Michelle Wu or Elizabeth Warren or whatever. But the fact is, all of the women are, you know, that's the baseline that we're working with here. I mean, they're the ones that are in office. Has nothing to do with man, woman, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. So that was another one. These people are crazy. But yeah, I think people are, to segue into what I was going to say, what I think is happening is I think people are, I think they are removing or reporting comments. So if you get a comment deleted, it wasn't me. So it was either YouTube. So you got to be careful with the YouTube's policies, because if your comment is, you know, bad, let's say into terms of what their policies are, it'll get removed. But I also think there's a group of people removing my comments, or removing your comments, I should say. What do you think about that house that's currently listed on Park Street in Stoneham? That's a good question. Let me look it up. Is this it? This one? Park Street, Stoneham? That's a pretty good price for this house, given the square footage. Oh, Berkshire County, okay. I would be, well, the thing is, the comments that are removed, I never actually get to see the comments, so I don't know what they are. You know what I mean? Like, once they're removed, I don't actually get to go through and see which comments were actually, like, redacted or something. What's up, Carrie? Is this the house in Stoneham? Let's see. This ain't a bad house, to be honest with you. Is it in foreclosure or something, or is it condemned? Is there another one on Park Street? Actually, you know what I'll do? I think I could do this. I'll probably lose my real estate license. No, I shouldn't. I don't think this is a problem. Let's see. Stoneham. Single. Is it a single family? I'm assuming it is. Park. Yeah, this is the only one on Park Street. Oops. That's not a bad deal. They started too high, obviously. You know, it may have had its slew of issues. It went under agreement and then back on market. I mean, fireplace not in working order and ground pool has not been open in the last 6 years. Is it for? It's not in foreclosure or anything, I don't think. It could be a good flip. I mean, ultimately, you know, the thing is here, so it's a little like deceiving because they have, it's only around 1,600 square feet above grade. The rest is below grade. You don't get as much money for below grade square footage that's finished as you do above grade. So when you look at a website like Zillow and they're combining, what they're doing is they're combining both the above and the below. The fact is, your price per square foot when it comes to below grade square footage is worth generally about half of above grade square footage. Okay. So if, yeah, 650 is not bad, but you know, relative to it only being realistically 1,600 square foot above grade, you know, it would be pretty close. Okay. I would say it would be pretty close. I think that you figure maybe 150 to 175 bucks a square foot to refinish it. So if you just do this, you know, you're looking at, let's say 1,600. Let's go with the baseline of 150. You're talking 250 grand at 650, and that's just renovating your above grade square footage. I mean, if you buy it at 650 and you put in 250, let's say 200 on the low end, you're at 850. You know, after let's say the cost to sale, you know, I don't know how much money you're going to make on this place. I would have to comp it out and see if it would be worth it. At 650, I don't think it's necessarily worth it, right? Depending on everything that it needs. Does it need windows? Does it need a roof? I can't really tell from the photos. The siding needs to be painted. Looks like the windows are replacement windows. Probably maybe 90s, give or take. I don't know how new they are. They may be a little earlier, maybe early 2000s. But it needs everything. I mean, it literally needs everything. And one tell when you're going through these photos, so you're seeing a couple, but you're not seeing all the photos. Like you see one bedroom here. Oh, no, they do have all the bedrooms. Here's the other thing. One of the bedrooms, this is the third bedroom, I'm assuming. This area right here to the right could be a staircase to go up a third floor. So the square footage of the third bedroom is super, super small. Okay, it is very, very small. So that's problematic. You know, unless you remove this stair, unless this is the chimney going up, it could be a chimney too. It's either a chimney and maybe there's a closet on the other side, or it could be a staircase to go up to an attic. But if you could remove this and power vent the chimney and pick up some additional square footage, or remove the staircase that's going up to the third floor, you know, you could pick up some additional square footage here. Let me see on the outside. Yeah. So there's the chimney. That might be going through this front right bedroom right here. That's the way that I'm looking at it. Yeah, $650 for a gut job. That's right. Welcome to Massachusetts. That's how it goes. All right, hang on a second here. I want to get caught up on the chat. Let me pull this over here. So what I see on my screen versus what's happening live is a little different, so I have to pull this out. Okay. There we go. $650, have your head exam. Honestly, if you were to get it for like, the best way to look at these things, by the way, so this is what I normally do. I'm not going to give you like a whole tutorial here, but like if I look up properties around the same square footage, let's say 1,600 square foot above grade, and I look at closed sales and I see properties that were previously flipped, the best way to tell, like I would say this is like a hack in order to see what a good price is, like a good entry price for a potential investment property, is when you go look at public record and you find, let's say, similar size properties within the vicinity. It doesn't have to be on the same street, of course. You're not going to ever, very rarely find that. But if you find similar colonial properties of the same square footage, and you find ones that have been flipped, and you go to public record and you see what the contractor paid for the property, you always want to use that as somewhat of a baseline. So what I mean is, if I clicked here and I went to history, okay, I could see the tax information for the property. If I saw the last sale date of a flip is like $450,000 and of the same similar square footage, and somebody sold it for $9 million, then I know that if somebody's paying $500 or $600 or more, their exit price, they're not going to make enough money, right? They're not going to make enough money on said investment. That's the way it works. At least that's that's something that I do. That's not like, that may not be common practice. Of course, you got to comp everything out, so on and so forth, but that's what I like to do. What was the rule about how the seller and buyer agents are paid? Oh, God. You really want me to answer that question? I can. Purple kitchen, purple house, teal bathroom. Property tax, 7K plus, yeah. It does look like it could be a good flip, but not at the price that it's at. Okay, not at the price that it's at. Not at 650. It's your entry price is just as like if you were to split this into thirds, your entry price, the cost of repair, and your exit price are all super important. But it's like dominoes. If you have a good entry price, you have a little bit more wiggle room on repairs, and you also have a little bit more wiggle room on negotiations, or what your, let's say, return on investment could be once you sell said property. But anyway, yeah, the stuff with, oh God, what was the question again? The rule, I think it was back in August or September. What happened is, I'll give you not a long version, not a short version, just a decent detailed version. So what happened is, there was a seller, and I believe it was California, of course, where he got like $50,000 plus over the list price when he sold his house. And what ended up happening was, after they closed on the sale or whatever, he ended up suing the real estate broker, agent, so on and so forth, and try to claim that, again, this is the short version of this explanation, try to claim that he didn't realize that the listing agent was paying the buyer agent to bring buyers. So he sued, and the DOJ got involved, and it was a big to-do. So that's pretty much the story in terms of the lawsuit. Again, a cut down version, and he won. And what happened is the DOJ, his claim was that he didn't know that 6% or 5% or whatever they were charging, meaning the listing agent, he basically tried to say that he didn't realize that the listing agent was paying a co-broke, which all of this stuff and all of this language, by the way, is clearly outlined in the documents. So what happened is they won like $900 million. The attorneys, of course, got rich from this. It was a big thing. Everybody was on the news on ABC saying that commissions are now negotiable. They've always been negotiable. Okay. Very rarely do I walk into an appointment, tell somebody my commission, and do they ask me to, or not ask me to renegotiate, right? It's always up for debate. But so what had happened is now, at least at our company, buyer's agents cannot, at my company, okay? I don't think the DOJ wants the listing agent and their brokerage to co-broke the property, okay? So instead of, and again, this is specifically at my company, we don't collect the total percentage and then pay out the buyer agent. Okay, we have it come directly off the closing disclosure for the buyer agent to get paid. That's the way that it works. But in turn, what happened is every single time you go to see a property, if any of you are out there looking at properties and the agent has not provided you with a buyer agency contract or a single property tour form, they are working outside of the bounds of real estate law currently. You have to sign a document unless it's an open house. You have to sign a document for a private tour on said home. That could be a binding contract, a full buyer agency contract, or a single property, meaning it would bind you to just a single property. Do I know if I'm related to anybody from Washington, Massachusetts, or I don't think so. And the other thing is, we don't know what the commission is on the MLS. So prior to this change, everything was more transparent. Now we're basically showing properties, and we do not know how we're being compensated, nor does the buyer. The buyer may have to pay, the listing or the seller may have to pay, so on and so forth. I've been doing this 10 years. I've never charged a buyer $1. What's up, Peter? Thanks for the input. I'm looking for our first home, so I'd be renovating myself. Cool. Oh, not me. My bad. Sorry. But yeah, that place in Stoneham, I don't know. The price is too high, in my opinion. Too high. But Stoneham's prices have gotten out of control. I will tell you that much. Yeah, they've really gotten out of control. I mean, most markets are out of control. A lot of people, when I make a video and I say that we're in a housing crisis, like I don't think they understand. Like, I don't want to make a full-fledged video on this, but it's the single family homes. That's the problem. The single family homes. That is where the problem lies. There's just not enough single family homes for the demand of buyers out there, and it's not getting any better. And I did a video, let me share my screen. I did a video not too long ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago regarding this. So what's happening is I looked at data from a report that was conducted across the country. And I may have said this before, I may not have. I know I said it in that video. But what's happening is people that own real estate are in a position where they don't want to sell unless rates meet a certain amount. Let's say sub 3, because what happened is during COVID, a lot of people refinanced, and they refinanced into a lower rate. So in turn, now what's happening is those people that refinanced, let's say 4 years ago or however long ago it was, they do not want to sell until rates meet or at least get close to the rate that they are locked into currently. That's one issue. The second issue is that buyers, based on this study and based on the statistic, are okay paying 5, 6 or 7%. So that's the disparity there. You have sellers that want a 3.5 or 3% rate in order to sell, but you have buyers that are okay with a 5, 6, or 7. So that's why the supply is not meeting the demand. On top of that, if you want me to take it a step further, another reason why supply is not meeting demand is when the market crashed back in 07 and 08. So if you look at the number of properties that were built, we're still short like hundreds of thousands of properties because of that timeline. Okay, so it was on track. If you look at charts, it was on track to meet a certain amount. And of course, you could use different modeling and so on and so forth to figure out how many homes that were effectively missing. I'm sure somebody substantially smarter than me has already calculated that. But the fact is, we're also missing homes from then. You couple that with what happened during COVID, and that's really what caused the housing crisis. Okay, that's it. That's what happened. Boston gave away $30 billion worth of variances, gifts, and 90% were rentals, not home ownership. I'm going to have to look that up. I'm going to save that comment. Peter, if you guys, it says you and your wife are meeting with a mortgage broker. If you need any referrals, let me know. I don't know, what part of Massachusetts are you in? Worcester County. Okay. You know what, Keith? Builders are sticking to bigger places and build bigger complexes. But what happened is in Boston, Michelle ended up raising the percentage on 7+ units. These are specific, obviously condos, from 13% to 50 or 13% to 20+%, where you have to have a affordable unit. So I said that in my last video. What happens is anytime you like, contractors are not going to, like, there's so much risk right now with, I mean, material costs are still relatively high, permits, restrictions, so on and so forth. You know, it's pretty ridiculous. So what happens is if there's more affordable units, and I'm not saying that we don't need affordable units, but what I am saying is that by creating more affordable units in said building, what happens is the, let's say, unaffordable units, all right, the exact opposite, end up getting priced higher because the contractor, the developer, the builder needs to recuperate the prices of the affordable units. You see what I'm saying? So, and really what happens is, like, anytime you make any kind of, like, look what happened during COVID with interest rates. Anytime you make any kind of calculated, what you perceive to be a calculated guess in terms of a change like that. So you figure if it went up from 13 to 20, which is 7, that's a 7% increase, which effectively brings it to 20%. What happens is, if those units that are, let's say, the not affordable units, those end up being comparables for other builders. Okay. So the units that are not affordable, after they sell and they close, they only directly affects the next project that's being built that is another comparable unit, and that will only artificially increase the prices. Okay, that's what happens. 100%. Let me catch up with comments, and then I'll show you the giveaway stuff too. South of Worcester, my wife works in Oxford. Okay. That's a little far from me, but if you need anything, I could always answer a question for you. Did you guys see this, by the way? Hang on. Actually, I'll show you a couple things. So here's what's going on in Boston. Not that I want to make this like a TED talk on real estate. So let me go by condos. Let's say Boston. So this selects a lot of data, like stuff that is technically Boston, but is further outside of Boston. I like to use another report, but I mean, if you look over the last couple of years, is this for condos? Yeah, condos. Yeah, the median sale price of condos just keeps going up. I don't know if I could filter this by average. Let me see. No, so the median price goes up. So most people are in the median price point. So what that means is median price point is where the majority of sales are. It's not pulling your highest high and lowest low. If you were to pull the average is actually down. So the average is down in most of Boston as a total by 2%. Commercial is down substantially. Commercial is down by, I can't pull commercial here. Commercial is down by almost 30 to, anywhere between 30 to 35%, because a lot of businesses, they don't want to open here, or they can't stay opened. That's effectively what's happening in, I don't know if you guys saw this. That's what's happening in Boston. Did you guys see this?
Right. Federal immigration agents arresting an illegal migrant from Uganda, wanted for allegedly assaulting a pregnant woman in Boston. Authorities say he entered the U.S. in an expired visa in April of 2021 and was paroled due to the Biden administration's policies.
Also in Boston now, the White House blasting that city's Democratic mayor as, quote, radical for defying federal deportations of violent illegal immigrants. Eric Sean's on that story. He's with me now. Eric,
did you guys see this?
Good morning, Bill. Well, the battle over sanctuary city status is being fought where the American Revolution was born, Boston. That city's mayor doubling down against President Trump's illegal immigration crackdown.
This is our city. No one tells Boston how to take care of our own. Not kings and not presidents who think they are kings.
Did you guys watch this?
Boston was born facing down bullies.
Well, Mayor Michelle Wu had strong words against President Trump and his policies, vowing to maintain her city's sanctuary status. But the White House blasted her, saying, quote, Boston's radical mayor puts violent criminal illegal aliens first. The administration citing 8 recent ICE arrests in the state. A Guatemalan alien charged with the rape of a child. A Turkish alien charged.
Yeah, the stuff that's going on here is just, it's crazy.
A Haitian gang member who has
numerous
really
criminal convictions. At all.
An MS-13 member charged with firearms and drug crimes. A Honduran illegal charged with sex crimes. A Haitian illegal charged with assault and a sex crime. A Dominican drug dealer charged with assault. A Brazilian illegal charged with rape. Well, Mayor Wu responding to the Trump attacks against her, saying she's glad the White House watched her speech, but she calls the statement attacking her reckless propaganda, saying that many of those arrests were not in her city. Trump border czar Tom Homan vowed this a few weeks ago.
Yeah, not in her city. Okay. It doesn't matter where they are, right? It doesn't really matter. What matters is people and citizens not being subjected to stuff like that, right? That's really what matters. And I said yesterday, maybe I don't remember when I filmed that video. It was yesterday, Michelle Wu's speech. I commented on this a little bit. So I want to talk before I do the show you what the giveaway is. I actually don't even know what's in here. It's good stuff. I use it, but there's like, in terms of collateral damage, right? So it's funny how whenever, especially here, right, and more national news, I think it's strange how if there's collateral damage, meaning that there's, let's say a violent criminal that gets arrested, and then he and or she may be with somebody that may be here legally, and they also potentially get deported, all the news highlights is the person that was potentially here legally, right? And that is some levels of like collateral damage. But the fact is, what they don't talk about is collateral damage on the other side. And what I meant by that in the video, and I try not to make the videos too long, I do my best, but what I meant by that is like, it's like the collateral damage on the other side is like, yes, people may be coming here and, they're coming across the border, so on and so forth. Not everybody is a, let's say violent criminal. Yes, they're coming here illegally. We know that. But not everybody is a violent criminal. I'm not advocating for any of this, by the way. I'm just giving you an example. But the fact is like that collateral damage meaning having a whole bunch of people come here illegally. And out of that mix of people, you have a subsection of people that may be violent criminals or some sort of offenders. Like, that seems to be okay. And that's what I meant by the collateral damage. It's crazy to me. It really is. It's really wild. All right, let's do the giveaway. I'm going to give you, actually, let me pull this up so I don't mess this up, because YouTube's rules are really strict. So this is the giveaway. All right. I'll show you what it is after I read this. I just wanted it up on screen so I had some context. So the video that I did, I think this is a really good video to comment on my reaction to Boston State of the City address. So all you got to do is comment done there. Okay. I'm going to announce the winner a week from today, March 28th at around noontime. We'll all hop on, and I'll make it fun. I'm going to put everybody's names in this wheel, and it's just going to be random. And obviously the winner will be picked randomly, and I'll select that winner from the wheel, which is inherently populated by the comment section, whoever comments done on that video. And then once chosen, I'm going to reply to you guys in the comment section to notify you, and you'll have to email me, and then that way I could collect some alternative information from you so I could ship the package, so on and so forth. Pretty simple. All you got to do is comment done. But this is what it is. Let me see if I could. Okay. A friend of mine owns this company. All right. I'm going to tell you a little story about this gentleman. His name's Rocco, and some more personal stuff. Okay. So I had a family member that was, struggling. So actually, let me back up. So a portion of the proceeds, when and if you buy Uplift product, they donate a portion of that to try to fight or combat any kind of substance abuse, right? Like alcohol, so on and so forth. And I had a family member that Rocco really helped out, and I'll forever be grateful for what he did for them. It was really amazing, and changed their life effectively. So that's why I support him. He also owns two barbershops. He has one in Stoneham called Over the Top, and there may be one in Woburn. I don't know if it's called Over the Top too. But anyway, I figured I would try to give back a little bit to you guys, and also, do right by Rocco. Hang on 1 minute. So let me take this out here. Let me see what's in here. So you'll get the bag. Okay, this is what I use, by the way, the styling compound. Okay. What else is in here? I think this is the texture dust. Now, this is a big one that I like using. Okay. This is awesome. Even my wife uses this. Okay. This is hang on, let me see if the camera this is the sea salt spray. All right. The sea salt spray, you don't necessarily, so if you get out of the shower and you have wet hair, the sea salt spray, you could spray in your hair and like blow dry your hair just a little bit, and not necessarily need to put any kind of other product in there, because it really, it adds like a texture to your hair is what it does. And it does a really good job. So this is what we're going to be giving away. And you have the rules. It's in this video too. So all you got to do is go over to that other video and just comment done. And then in a week, we'll do like a live giveaway drawing or something like that. But again, it's organic. I think it's organic. Let me see here. No parabens. Let me see. I mean, he started in his kitchen. Let me put it to you that way. He literally started in his kitchen. Now he also won Educator of the Year here in Massachusetts. So like, he was just in Pennsylvania. He was in, I think, Kentucky last week. He was in, that's why my hair was so long. I was waiting for him to get back. He does a lot of speaking events. So on Rocco Daniele, you could look him up on Google. But he's probably one of the best literally one of the best barbers in Massachusetts. On top of that, he also has this product. And I think they do a great job. Mike for governor. No way. No way. At least not right now. I'm from Massachusetts and hate what the state has become. Yeah, It's tough here. Buddy of yours wants to run for mayor of Pittsfield. Awesome. They're banning guns in Rhode Island? Seriously? I got to get that guy. So I don't want to, no spoilers. I'm not going to say who's coming on, but we have a couple really, actually, I'll give you one. You know what? I'll give you one. So I don't know if you're a member of this. Hang on. Are you got any of you a member of Citizens Against Eversource? This group? Hang on. You guys a member of this group? Citizens Against Eversource? This guy here, Elijah, reached out to me. This is the only spoiler I will give you. So we have a podcast. He's coming to the studio on Tuesday, and we're going to hash it out. We're going to hash it out. Everything about Eversource. But if you're interested, this is his Facebook group. And this grew, so he has like 31,000 members. This is like over the course of the last couple of weeks. So, I mean, obviously people are pissed. They're pissed. But then on Wednesday, so I normally do them Wednesday. We kind of, wiggled our way in to do another additional podcast on Tuesday. But I will tell you, Wednesday's podcast is going to be a big one. And I think there's going to be a lot of questions answered for you. Okay. Now, they won't be coming out that day. I usually do it the very next day. But yeah. Swore I wasn't going to go back to a blue state. You know what? Honestly, after leaving Seattle, but I am moving to San Francisco next month to assist my friend with a new business. Like, we will keep my place in Nevada just in case. Yeah. Supposed to ban 90 per... I know nothing about guns. I fired guns. I don't know much about guns. Okay, I was not in the military. I don't know much about them, right? Other than playing like Call of Duty when I was younger, I don't know much about guns. So I want I have to reach out to him, the guy that owns that Cape Cod Gun Works. I need to get him on the podcast so we can break apart what's going on. But I think everybody should have the right to own a gun, especially given the circumstances that we're in. I mean, basically, every gun and people's businesses are going to be affected so much they will have to close. People don't understand it's criminals doing crimes with the illegal guns. Okay. Yeah, join that group, James. It's they constantly talk about. We're gonna hash a lot of stuff. He knows even more than I do about like. So I've spoken to a couple people. I think I could say this. I've spoken to a couple people at Eversource, but the fact is, Cape Cod Gunworks. There we go. He's here. Holy shit. There we go. All I can tell you is my sister owns a bunch of guns. Okay? She lives in the country. She owns a bunch of guns. Toby Leary, yes. There we go. Toby, we got to get you on, man. Yeah, I got to get you on for sure. 100%. Oh, somebody said not going back to a blue state. Here's the thing. There's like some states that are blue, some states that are red. The fact is like, there's like here in Massachusetts and like obviously in California, and I'm sure there's other states where they're just like, I mean, look, I will say this much. Being progressive, like you have to have a good mix, okay, of like, let's say conservative, progressive, right? There has to be like a decent mix here. But the problem is it's just so far gone, right? It's just like radically blue here. That's a big problem. There needs to be, and when you have elected officials that are basically controlling the entire state and everybody is Democratic, I may have said this before, but like, even if a Republican has a win, whether it be a bill or a policy or whatever, it gets shot down. right? And it gets shot down because they won't even chalk a W up for a Republican. And I really think that's not right. I really do. No swear words? My bad. Just say when. I'll email you, Toby. How can we recall Healy? That's a good question. Yeah, it's scary blue. I agree with that. 100%. It's wild. It's really wild. And I mean, did you see, what's your thoughts on this? Because I don't know much about pharmaceuticals. Like, I don't know a ton about pharmaceuticals. But that fentanyl act, like, I understand, maybe some of you are doctors or whatever. Like, there was who was it? Ed Markey and Elizabeth Warren voted no for the fentanyl act. Like, I don't know the inner workings of that, but I just found that a little strange. I could understand, I guess, maybe there's, I know it's used in medicine and stuff like that, but I don't know. The fentanyl, I also read that the fentanyl that they use versus what's on the streets are two different things, and they just label it fentanyl. But who the hell knows? Like, I have no idea. I didn't do enough research on this. Turtle Boy? Yeah, I've never watched that guy's videos, I'll be honest with you. I don't know much about him. I really try to stay isolated from the Karen Reed stuff. I know he does stuff with Karen Reed. I really try to isolate myself from that. A couple people have asked me, about Karen Reed and what I think. I'll tell you right now, I know nothing. I know nothing. I mean, I know some stuff, but I don't know enough to even give an opinion on what's going on. Because I've purposely avoided kind of learning and talking about that. And I know I should know a little bit more, but, I think I might get overly frustrated with the entire thing. Zero truth, drugs since the jab, homeopathic now. What does that mean? He speaks vulgar? I've never watched his videos. The KR case is crazy, and unless you were involved, it's best not to make an opinion. Yeah, I don't have any intentions, and somebody told me to avoid it, and I trust their opinion. I also don't want to get killed. I think there's a lot. I will say this much. I think there's a lot going on there, and I think the ties, there, I don't know. I don't know how Turtle Boy does it and stays above ground. Yeah, the Karen Reed case is getting out of hand. I agree. Nothing as is. Wait, what's the quote? Nothing is what it seems. That's what I think. No, I don't read Howie Carr. I mean, a lot of people commented and reach out to me and say stuff about Howie, but I don't really listen to him that much. I do a lot of reading. I've read some of his articles. I think he's a good journalist. Old natural remedies now. Okay. I would have to read the bill, but medical fentanyl is different from street fentanyl. From production, but it's the same chemical. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the drug thing is crazy. Fentanyl. I mean, that stuff is... It's wild. It's really, really... I mean, I'll be honest with you. After what I saw with just like going... with like, I haven't drank, like, I don't have an alcohol problem. I never did, but I stopped. So I'll tell you a funny story. I think I could tell this story. So I haven't had a drink in like, since right before COVID. right? And not because I needed to stop, or I was like, I would only drink like sometimes like once a week around the weekend or whatever. But I woke up one day and at that time, my daughter was like maybe 2 and my son wasn't born yet. And I remember waking up the one morning and I would like to drink, I really like, what's it called? Is it Maine Brewing Company? I think it is. Their lunch IPA. Used to love it. And I woke up the one day after drinking like one of them, and I know the bottles are a little bit bigger, but I woke up and I just felt awful, and I had to, help around with my daughter and go to work and whatever it may be. And ever since that, like that was one catalyst that made me stop. And then the other catalyst was during COVID, I saw on the news that people were driving, like, how a lot of, like, Massachusetts wasn't one of them, but there were other states that banned, probably state-run liquor stores is what it was. They banned liquor sales. And I saw a lot of people on the news or on, whatever on the internet that were like driving like hundreds of miles to get alcohol. And I just thought to myself, you know what? I think I'm all right, and that was it. But I have no problem with it. But yeah. Yes, I was an electrician. My dad owned a business and I basically apprenticed under him. He was in business for like 35 plus years. We did commercial, industrial, and residential. Not big pole work and stuff like that, but operating, what are they called? Lifts and changing out lights, doing kitchen remodels, building additions. We did everything. Oregano oil. Cut sickness? Okay. I never heard of that. And I'm Italian. You figure, or half Italian. Yeah, I had no problem. I didn't like crave alcohol. I mean, my uncles, they're Italian. They make homemade red wine, like all this stuff. It's fine. But I'm like 40 years old. I turned 40 years old on March 9th. And obviously when I was younger, right, it was a different story. But my wife and I have been together for, how long I think 17 years. And, when we were younger, it was a lot different. But once you have kids and stuff and like, even if they're asleep or they're wherever, I mean, the next day, it's just like, I don't know. The older I get, I just feel awful. Oh, oregano. Okay. Oregano. Okay. My brain went right to oregano. Okay. That's embedded in my culture. So, oh shoot. I have a phone call with somebody today, so I don't have to get off yet, but I have to get off by at least within like probably 10 minutes. I have a phone call at 1:15 that somebody booked on my calendar. Do I list properties in Princeton? No, I don't think so. I think that's too far away from me. The furthest I've sold to Princeton was, let me see. I think Ashby, which is actually a little bit further, but that was somebody that really reached out, needed help. They were having trouble, and I did go a little bit beyond the call of duty to help them. But if you need any advice or whatever, you need a referral, I could do it. Don't get me wrong. It's not a problem, but it is a little bit out of the way, if that makes sense. We could sell anywhere. The fact is like, you know, when you're hiring an agent, like, Some agents just focus on one area or something like that. I never necessarily did that, especially in Massachusetts where there's limited inventory and people will start looking at the North Shore and all of a sudden they'll be at the South Shore. So you have to be able to like decipher the data depending on what town, neighborhood, city, wherever it is, and do it relatively quickly. So I would say if you need a referral or something, I could give you one. You're leaving the state. Where are you moving to? Small homestead farm. Moving to Tennessee. Awesome. Was a realtor, so I have no clue. You could hit me up. You could email me, and I could comp it out for you if you send me photos, or if I could always come and do a walkthrough or something. I could do it live too. Don't legalize weed in public. Trust me, all you do is smell. Yeah. I've said this before, so I see you're saying, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to change my career. Hang on. Night classes. Tennessee, awesome. Yeah, electrical work is tough, especially when I was doing it, because there was, back in the day, I've said this before, you kind of got looked down on for being in the trades, right? So all my friends were going, especially like schools, so on and so forth. I mean, they really, really try to push you to go to college. I feel like they're getting kickbacks or something from the colleges, like I really do. But, there was the pressure of not going to college, getting into a family business, and then also the pressure of, if you went to college campus on the weekend with your friends or whatever, you're going to a party. People ask where you go to school, and you're like, "Oh, I work." Like back in this was like I graduated high school in 2003, so like the trades were really, I feel like looked down on a little bit, in my opinion. There was like a stigma that's since changed, in my opinion. Happy Farmer, I could give you some advice of what to do and what not to do. Yes, trades are always needed. I could give you some advice of what to do and what not to do. I wouldn't do anything until either I or another agent sees the property, because you don't want to put money into places where you won't necessarily get the return. Paint and floors are usually pretty safe, but don't do anything crazy. My dad had his own plumbing business, but no sons. And by the time we married, he was too old to teach hubby. Okay. Unclogged elderly toilets. Yeah. Yeah, just send me an email and we could hook up that way. Have you guys, so here, crazy stuff done? Oh, yeah. As someone working in operation in the trades, I'm seeing more and more 20-something biotech kids in interviews. I actually have, I won't say with who, but I'm going to be doing a future podcast with somebody in regards to that. I have to check when it is. I'm like booked out for the next 2 months. Oh, I have your soap. I do. It's awesome, by the way. Thank you so much for that. Well, where am I going to get soap now? Septic, roof, electric. Okay. Students that are offered scholarships get stipends before entering while in high school. Hang on, I'm catching up on some of these comments, guys. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you guys. Have you ever, let me bring this up. I was going to do a video on this later if I have enough time. I will give you a sneak peek of what I've been researching, okay? Have you guys ever been here? Here we go. Have you guys ever been here? Or know about the school that was here, so on and so forth? Or like this gravesite? Because this story is crazy. You familiar with this? Hang on, let me... Or this the development center? You guys don't know about this place? Oh my God. Well, I guess I will do the video. Okay. It's in Waltham, by the way. Never heard of it. Yes, that's why I'm going to do a video on it, because it seems as though the more people I ask, more people have not heard of it. So, long story short, and of course I'll save what I can for talking on the video, but long story short, back in the 40s and 50s, MIT, in, I believe, combination with Harvard, they were feeding the children radioactive oatmeal. Yes, I should be laughing at that, but it's just the circumstances. It's just crazy. They were feeding them radioactive oatmeal, and there was a lawsuit, and this was back in the early 90s, and they only won like $1.7 million or something like that. I guess there wasn't many rules and regulations into, let's say, testing these kids. But what they did is they told either the parents. Actually, I don't even think they told the parents. Again, I'm still collecting data, but apparently these kids are eating like radioactive oatmeal for their like a test study for MIT. And on top of that, all of the kids here, not all the kids, but this cemetery is where a lot of the staff and the kids are buried. And this is the gravesite. It still looks this way. The reason there's a C and a number is because I believe the number signifies what number the child was, perhaps at the school, or just the label. The C, or let's see if we find another one. The gravestones are, oh, here we go, P. Okay, so this means Protestant. C means Catholic. And what's happening now is they are rehabilitating the site, which is, let me pull it up. Hang on a minute. They're turning it into something. So the cemetery is right here. Okay? The cemetery is in this area, but I believe down in, where is it? I might be all covered with trees. Anyway, they're renovating the site here. Not where the cemetery is, but close to the cemetery where is it down here? I can't remember exactly where it was on the map. Hold on. Here it is, down here. So this site, they're redeveloping into like an amusement park, but these kids were like abused here. And a lot of the town, I don't know if you guys live here, it was in Waltham. A lot of the town is kind of like upset of the way that, I can't even do a pin drop, upset on the way that they handled it. And I might cover that because I find it pretty interesting, because what happened is, and again, I want to save some of this, when I talk on the video, but the town got money to do something with the gravesite and tried to like honor these kids to some extent. And they took the money, they didn't match. I think they had to match the grant money, if I'm not mistaken. And they decided that they were going to wait or something. So then that money that they received in grant money went back into a general account. But they've since have been renovating it, and they're trying to make a amusement park or something. It's really crazy. It's really wild. And they let these places, you know what I'm seeing that's a common occurrence? I got to get off soon. Like, for instance, they let this place go down the tubes. They've let White Stadium go down the tubes. They've let other state hospitals go down the tubes. And it's just like, they have all this money. Like, we're supposed to be fiscally responsible. I really feel, of course, this is speculation, but I always feel like if you have the money to put into said project, why are they not doing it? They're letting these buildings just go to rot. It's really strange. And it's happening all over Massachusetts. Yeah, not Woburn, Waltham. Yeah, this isn't a super fun site. Okay, this isn't a super fun. This is not a super fun site. But the kids were like guinea pigs. Was there a movie about this? There was a movie. So when I was a kid, really funny. There's a movie called, I think it's called Session 8 or Session 9. Session 9. And that was filmed. I saw this when I was in high school. And it was a horror film. And they filmed that, I believe, at the hospital in Danvers, if I'm not mistaken. It was like a low-budget movie, but it was actually really good. Cemeteries are prime on real estate. That's another reason why yes, I get it. I might hint on that in the video because of some tips I got. But a lot of people don't know about it. Yes, land grabs. They're doing one right now. They're doing what is it? The bridge to Cape Cod. They're taking properties on eminent domain. Let me see where it is. Here it is here. Cape Cod families devastated. Their homes will be destroyed for the Sagamore Bridge. I mean, look, I understand if the bridge is in such disrepair that it's going to cost more to repair it and time than it would be to replace it. But what's happening is there's people that just, I mean, again, this is another story of collateral damage. What they're doing is some of the homes that are around the bridge, yeah, here it is here. They have to take some of these homes due to eminent domain. So what they're going to do is end up paying these homeowners for the property, fair market value for their homes. But of course, that's not the problem. The problem is, like, it's okay. Like, look, any of you guys, if you were to list a house, right, you're going to get a single family home that's in good condition. You're going to get substantially over. You're going to do very well. The problem is these people now have to go buy a home in a market where there's not a lot of single family homes available. Okay. And yeah, it's being taken from eminent domain. I don't know if you guys knew that either. Round Hill neighborhood. Okay. So you're familiar with it. All right, guys, I got to hop off. Remember the giveaway. All you got to do is just write done on the video that I did on Michelle Wu's address to the state. And then we'll be back on here next Friday. We'll do like a live drawing. I have this cool like wheel that spins. I'm going to put everybody's names in there and we'll see who wins. And then I'll connect with you via email and I'll ship it off to you. And if you guys like it, we could always do other giveaways. There's other people that have reached out in regards of that to me about that too. So thanks for stopping in, guys. I got to make that phone call. You guys are free to stay in the chat or do whatever you like. And I might record, if I have enough time after this phone call, I might hop back on, not live, and I have to read a little bit more, but rehash about this Fernald Metfern cemetery site and